I am angry.
I'm astonished.
I am baffled beyond belief.
I am angry because it is 2010 and nearly 90% of LGBT youth experience harassment in schools.
I'm astonished that there has been a 31% increase in LGBT hate crimes in 5 metropolitan areas over the past year.
I am baffled beyond belief that in spite of this, over 50% of national youth servicing organizations report that they do not have services or resources in place to educate youth on sexual orientation or to support LGBTQ youth.
Why is it that now in 2010, young people in this world are going through the things that I went through as an LGBT youth?
I grew up not knowing other people like me.
And there are still people who feel alone and isolated because of who they are.
I was the only out queer person in my 800-person high school.
I went from the height of popularity to being a total loner in like a week because of some gay rumors about me.
I was teased in high school for being queer. Boys would call me a dyke and a lesbian.
Current students report hearing up to 27 anti-gay slurs each day, only 3% of which are dealt with by faculty and staff.
And it's not just in schools.
I was raised Catholic and felt alienated by the church.
I was told I could not be who I wanted to be as a spiritual leader because of my sexuality.
I know how it feels to feel so alone.
I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and after coming out, I had to leave the church because being gay was totally forbidden.
The name of God is still used to invoke so much judgment and hate towards others, and that's not a God that I know.
And we are still having to fight to allow some of the best military personnel to serve their country.
I was discharged from the Navy under Don't Ask, Don't Tell for disclosing my identity.
And bisexuality is still seen as invalid and stigmatized in both straight and queer communities.
People make assumptions about me, like I have to pick what I am, like I can't really be into both guys and girls.
And on top of that, they tell me what kind of sexual category they want me to fall into.
A lot of gay folks tried to convince me that bisexuality was just a stop on the way to full gayness.
Finally, when young people come out, they still face abandonment, hate, and abuse from the people who are supposed to love and protect them.
My father disowned me when I first came out. He warned me that I would be a pariah for life, doomed to a miserable existence because of my sexuality.
My lack of positive gay role models when I was coming out led me into an abusive relationship.
So to all the LGBT youth out there, we know.
We understand.
We hear you.
And we want you to know.
It gets better.
There may not be a visible community for you now, but we are people from all different walks of life who are here to say, it gets better.
I was the recipient of the Point Foundation Scholarship, a national scholarship for LGBT students, which gave me a full ride to graduate school.
I have an awesome partner, and we're raising the most amazing child together.
When I got to college and I came out as queer, I could laugh about how right those boys had been.
I now have incredible friends, a loving family, a fab job, and a wonderful woman.
I've had the freedom after high school to choose to spend my time with phenomenal people who are loving and affirming, and to choose not to waste my time with people who aren't.
We've been in a committed relationship for 33 years, and 2 years ago, we got married in Massachusetts.
It got better! I'm part of a beautiful world of artists and activists in New York City.
I have a really amazing community of people who have all sorts of genders and sexual identities.
In the course of many years, my father moved from truly lovers dead to fully accepting me as a lesbian and accepting my partner, Catherine, as his daughter-in-law.
It got better.
I became an EMT, worked my way through undergraduate at Hunter College, went to medical school, and now I'm a physician.
I have a black belt in Kung Fu, a black belt in karate, and more than a year ago I was ordained as a minister.
For us, it got better.
It isn't magic. Not everything's perfect.
It still took me a while to come out of work in a not-so-friendly environment.
And I still struggle having to come out as bi to all of my boyfriends.
But there are a few things we've learned along the way.
The people who surround you and love you are your rock. Your parents, teachers, and administrators all have a responsibility to protect you from harassment and bullying.
There are always allies for you. You just have to keep searching.
Bullying does hurt. Don't listen to people who say that you should just ignore it or let it slide off you. They mean well, but they don't know that harassment is psychological abuse.
Don't give up, if for no other reason than to see the look on the naysayers' faces when you succeed.
The fact that they can hurt you doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're
Progress is on our side, and soon enough, we all will be treated equally under the law.
There are many people who want to see you grow and do wonderful things with your life.
Be open to surprises from people who wouldn't expect acceptance from.
In the meantime, do whatever is possible for you. Find an ally, keep a journal, call a hotline.
Trust the people who love you. Love is stronger than hate. It's just not always louder.
If we are courageous together, there is no power that can stand in our way.
We also promise that we won't just settle for telling you that it gets better without doing anything to make it so.
I'm raising money to support homeless LGBTQ youth.
Because you all deserve to have some place you can call home.
I am working in the New York Public Schools as an openly queer teaching artist, working to establish gay-straight alliances where there were none before.
I'm in an amazing grad school program for drama therapy at NYU and beginning to take workshops on working with LGBT youth.
Because your school should never feel like a war zone.
I'm studying to become an Episcopal priest, and I want you to know that you can find a faith community where you are welcome.
Because you shouldn't have to make the choice between loving God and loving yourself.
I'm part of a team that's working on a project. We're trying to bridge the LGBT generation gap and build solidarity within our community.
I try to write characters who are people who are queer, as opposed to queer stereotypes that look like people. And I want to put those voices on stage and say, we are normal too.
I decided to be the gay role model that I needed when I was young. I can probably say that I'm an out gay man and I
Because you need to have positive images of people like you to turn to when things get rough.
Things aren't better yet, but we're fighting for you now.
And more than anything, we're telling you,
It gets better. We know things can be rough.
It never improves as fast as we think.
But we need you to be around to see the improvements happen.
And we need you to help us continue to fight for better treatment and equal rights in the future.
So for that, we say,
It gets better.